All these so-called pro-Biafra groups you're saying, HAUSA brought them out to confuse you. HAUSA brought them out. That is why they cannot say what we are saying or do what we're capable of doing. These are HAUSA groups and you are not listening. You are not listening. Because the devil has gone into all these idols that you worship. The devil has gone inside you to harden your heart, to blind your eyes that you can no longer see. That day I will tell you to remember the broadcast of the 8th of June 2015. I will tell you to go back to it. I need guns and I need weapons. If I don't have guns and bullets, the army of Biafra cannot defend your towns and villages. The sooner you get that into your thick skull, the better for everybody. You are black people, you don't reason, I know that for sure. But the sooner you take this very message seriously, the better for everybody. Or else you're finished. ISIS is coming. They will enter the zoo and Chad very, very shortly. Not as Boko Haram, they are coming in as their franchise and as their name dictates. ISIS is coming. If you like, you make haste while the sun is shining, or if you like, you can continue to be dumb and stupid. That is entirely up to you. I won't be there, but you'll be dead anyway. And Radio Biafra will not report it, and nobody will. If you like, you give us guns. If you like, you don't. We are trying to save you, not you saving us. We continue.
Biafra worldwide phone call campaign alert continues. BBC, a propaganda machine and racist media set up by the Great Britain to oppress the oppressed people of Biafra. BBC, your media war propaganda of 1967 that led to the genocide of over 3.5 million Biafrans, men, women, and children, did not stop us. Do you know why? Because we are the sons and daughters of the great lion from the tribe of Biafra. Our minds are made up. Your shenanigans, antics, and fake gutter media will not stop us either. We must and shall restore Biafra. Biafra worldwide phone call campaign alert continue. Now pay close attention. Be polite when you call BBC and use the following prompt when you call. Hello, my name is. You tell them your name. I am calling to ask about BBC policy of propaganda against the victims of genocide. Since you are obsessed with telling lies about Biafrans, here are 5 more questions to consider. Now, this is the question to ask BBC. We are witnesses to BBC racist coverage of terrorism, implying that black Africans' lives don't matter. Yet the same BBC rallies the whole world at the slightest terrorist incident in the United Kingdom. Here is the second question. But when it comes to Nigeria, BBC not only hides terrorist killings, but they slander the victims and survivors of terrorism and genocide. The third one. When will the grand patrons of lies and hypocrisy, the BBC Fake News Network, make a documentary about the daily slaughtering of Nigerians by Fulani terrorists and the government of Nigeria, whom you protect so that London may plunder Biafran's resources? The fourth question. is the oil and gas of Biafra. The reason that BBC is obsessed and terrified by the agitation for freedom by the victims of 400 years of British colonial thievery and crimes against humanity. And the fifth one, we call on the good people of the world to ask BBC and UK government why it aids and abates the genocide in Nigeria by spreading lies, propaganda, and disinformation against Biafran freedom fighters. BBC, we know that you are United Kingdom government agents of imperialism with no modicum of shame. Take down your wicked fake documentary against the victims of genocide and stop your sadistic meddling in the lives of black Africans. Now pay close attention. This is the time to call BBC. You can call them 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Biafran time. Date 4th of July to 30th of September 2022. Now grab your pen and paper and pay close attention. You can call BBC switchboard on this number +44 2087 438,000. I repeat, +44 208 743 8000, or you can tweet at BBC News. You can also call BBC Customer Service +44 3700 100 222. I repeat, +44 3700 100 222. Or you can also tweet at BBC Press. I have not finished. You can also call BBC Studios Limited +44 208 433 2000. I repeat, +44 208 433 2000. You can also email BBC News Channels at bbc.co.uk. BBC, we shall vanquish. BBC, do you know why? Because we are Biafrans. Hashtag, we are one family, indivisible. Under Chukwu Okike Abiyama, we are the people of the East. Hashtag, we are one family, indivisible. Under Chukwu Okike Abiyama, we are the people of the East.
The type of Biafra I want is the Biafra of my ancestors, the land of the free, where people are allowed to pursue their daily endeavors without interference from any higher authority, where individual and collective autonomy of every component, ethnic, nationality within Biafra will be guaranteed, not just by law, but by virtue of our existence as dignified human beings. A Biafra that will be demilitarized, a Biafra that will be forward-looking, innovative, creative, run on clean, green energy, not reliant on gas or petrol. A Biafra where the police will not bear any arms. A Biafra where people can live and die and you will not see an armed soldier anywhere around you. A genuine republic, a land belonging to the people. We are going to cement this in the way we structure our society. A Biafra that will attract inward investments. A Biafra that will consider every necessity of life as being a human right. Not just in words, but in deed. A Biafra where there will be no strife nor rancor. A Biafra where all men and women will be equal, regardless of their religion, their sex, their creed, their orientation. A Biafra that will maintain open borders to every black soul on the face of this very earth. I do admit that geographically, in terms of landmass, we may not be that huge. The Biafra will operate, or should I say, run an open door policy. Every black person on the face of this earth will be an honorary citizen of Biafra, as long as you're not tainted by terrorism. That is the type of Biafra we want to run. A Biafra where Europeans will sit back and say, we never knew that such innovation and creativity will be possible. A Biafra that, should I say, the likes of Rwanda is a forerunner to, because today they are doing very well as well. That is the type of nation we are going to build. A truly democratic nation, not through the force of arms, but through dialogue and negotiations at all times. Nobody's going to lord it over anybody else. My ancestors never did. That is why we remain the only people not to conquer any other piece of territory, and nobody conquered us until the white man came and our temple fell in 1904. That is the land we are going to go back to. A Biafra of very many nations. A Biafra of autonomous nations within, governing themselves according to their own rules, where nobody will sit at the helm of power and dictate for others what to do. And we are going to accomplish it by the grace of God Almighty in heaven. Now, I know that constant references are being made to Southern Sudan. But I want to let people understand that even after the USA became free from British colonial rule, they also went through a very bitter civil war. And that did not stop them today from becoming preeminent in every sphere of human endeavor, militarily, economically, socially, in every way. So I do believe that is why I said, and I have said this repeatedly, I will never ever lead Biafra politically. Once Biafra is restored, my job is done. I want to be able to prove to our people what sacrifice means, so that those who will come after us will know how to treat our people with respect and with dignity. The thing about Africa is somebody gets into power and they want to stay there forever and ever, see if there is something in it. The little work that I'm doing for Biafran people is very tiring, very, very stressful. Sometimes I don't even know how these presidents manage to sleep. Maybe they don't love their people that much. If you love your people, you cannot sleep at night. Any president in Africa who's not suffering from high blood pressure, you are not sick. That means you're doing something wrong. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. If you're concerned about your people, then I expect you to be very ill at all times. So that is the type of Biafra that we need. That's the type of Biafra we're going to have. A type of Biafra where the wealth, well-being of Sub-Saharan Africa flows from. And I can assure you we are going to deliver it. We will deliver it. The Pan-Africanism that we talk about is going to start from Biafra, because mind, I did not say that we're just going to have Biafra and then we shut up all the borders. No. What we want to do is to return to our organic political cultural arrangement. Should Biafrans wake up the next day to say, we want to be the same country with Oduduwa, all well and good. Should Biafrans wake up and say, we want to expand into Ambazonia, all well and good. As long as you take the consent of the people with you, this nonsense that the Europeans did in Africa, we want to reverse it. That God Almighty heaven may look down and be very proud to say that at last, I have people who are after my heart, and that's what we intend to do with Biafra. Thank you very much.
Hashtag we are one family, indivisible. Under Chupu Okike Abiyama, we are the people of the East. Hashtag we are one family, indivisible. Under Chukwu Okike Abiyama, we are the people of the East.
The type of Biafra I want is the Biafra of my ancestors, the land of the free, where people are allowed to pursue their daily endeavors without interference from any higher authority, where individual and collective autonomy of every component, ethnic, nationality within Biafra will be guaranteed, not just by law, but by virtue of our existence as dignified human beings. A Biafra that will be demilitarized, a Biafra that will be forward-looking, innovative, creative, run on clean, green energy, not reliant on gas or petrol. A Biafra where the police will not bear any arms. A Biafra where people can live and die and you will not see an armed soldier anywhere around you. A genuine republic, a land belonging to the people. We are going to cement this in the way we structure our society. A Biafra that will attract inward investments. A Biafra that will consider every necessity of life as being a human right. Not just in words, but in deed. A Biafra where there will be no strife nor rancor. A Biafra where all men and women will be equal, regardless of their religion, their sex, their creed, their orientation. A Biafra that will maintain open borders to every black soul on the face of this very earth. I do admit that geographically, in terms of landmass, we may not be that huge. The Biafra will operate, or should I say, run an open door policy. Every black person on the face of this earth will be an honorary citizen of Biafra, as long as you're not tainted by terrorism. That is the type of Biafra we want to run. A Biafra where Europeans will sit back and say, we never knew that such innovation and creativity will be possible. A Biafra that, should I say, the likes of Rwanda is a forerunner to, because today they are doing very well as well. That is the type of nation we are going to build. A truly democratic nation, not through the force of arms, but through dialogue and negotiations at all times. Nobody's going to lord it over anybody else. My ancestors never did. That is why we remain the only people not to conquer any other piece of territory, and nobody conquered us until the white man came and our temple fell in 1904. That is the land we're going to go back to. A Biafra of very many nations. A Biafra of autonomous nations within, governing themselves according to their own rules, where nobody will sit at the helm of power and dictate for others what to do. And we are going to accomplish it by the grace of God Almighty in heaven. Now, I know that constant references are being made to Southern Sudan. But I want to let people understand that even after the USA became free from British colonial rule, they also went through a very bitter civil war. And that did not stop them today from becoming preeminent in every sphere of human endeavor, militarily, economically, socially, in every way. So I do believe that is why I said, and I have said this repeatedly, I will never ever lead Biafra politically. Once Biafra is restored, my job is done. I want to be able to prove to our people what sacrifice means, so that those who will come after us will know how to treat our people with respect and with dignity. The thing about Africa is somebody gets into power and they want to stay there forever and ever, see if there is something in it. The little work that I'm doing for Biafran people is very tiring, very, very stressful. Sometimes I don't even know how these presidents manage to sleep. Maybe they don't love their people that much. If you love your people, you cannot sleep at night. Any president in Africa who's not suffering from high blood pressure, you are not sick. That means you're doing something wrong. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. If you're concerned about your people, then I expect you to be very ill at all times. So that is the type of Biafra that we need. That's the type of Biafra we're going to have. A type of Biafra where the wealth, well-being of Sub-Saharan Africa flows from. And I can assure you we are going to deliver it. We will deliver it. The Pan-Africanism that we talk about is going to start from Biafra, because mind, I did not say that we're just going to have Biafra and then we shut up all the borders. No. What we want to do is to return to our organic political cultural arrangement. Should Biafrans wake up the next day to say, oh, we want to be the same country with Oduduwa, all well and good. Should Biafrans wake up and say, oh, we want to expand into Amazonia, all well and good. As long as you take the consent of the people with you, this nonsense that the Europeans did in Africa, we want to reverse it. That God Almighty heaven may look down and be very proud to say that at last, I have people who are after my heart, and that's what we intend to do with Biafra. Thank you very much.
Hashtag, we are one family, indivisible. Under Chupu Okike Abiyama, we are the people of the East. Hashtag, we are one family, indivisible. Under Chupu Okike Abiyama, we are the people of the East.
The United Nations has asked Nigerian government to immediately release Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally and pay him adequate compensations for the arbitrary violation of his fundamental human rights. So it's also recommended that government officials responsible for the torture meted out on the IPOB leader be investigated and punished. How do you see the federal government responding to this?
It's difficult to predict how exactly they are going to respond. But of course, the government will try its best to defend itself, but it has to defend itself within the ambit of United Nations conventions. This whole problem emanated from the forceful arrests and relocation of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria. There are internationally guaranteed rights that the UN working group that indicted the UN working group on the detention, arbitrary detention, has indicted Nigeria and Kenya of. Ideally, if you want to put someone on trial, a fugitive who ran away from your country, if you want to put him on trial and he's in another country, he has to go through an extradition trial. In this case, there was no extradition trial in place. Nnamdi Kanu didn't go through any form of extradition trial, yet he was forcefully brought to Nigeria, and Nigeria now is facing trial before a federal high court. As far as the working group of the UN Human Rights Council is concerned, this was a gross violation of Nnamdi Kanu's rights. As far as they are concerned, Nigeria and Kenya stand indicted for the manner they brought Nnamdi Kanu to the country. It violates international convention, violates international law to forcefully drag a man out of another country and bring him to his country to face trial in the manner in which Nnamdi Kanu was brought to Nigeria by force. So, for this reason, Nigeria stands indicted. My own position is both Kenya and Nigeria are signatories to this convention. So, they are morally obligated to comply, because if you are not signatories to the convention, then it's the content of the convention is not binding on you. But if you made up your mind that, look, this is good for me and my people, and you sign up to it, it is then incumbent on you to comply. The UN Human Rights Council itself is a product of the United Nations resolution. So it then means that as a country affiliated to the United Nations, we have to comply with these resolutions. And from the tone of this 16-page report, it is clear that they mean business, because the working group is asking Nigeria to get back to it within 6 months of receiving this indictment, showing it how it is complying, showing the UN agency how it is, the UN working group, how it is complying with the directive handed over. It's also asking that Nigerian officials who are involved in the illegal arrest of Kanu without him being subjected to an extradition trial should be punished. And they are interested in knowing every step of the way what we are doing to comply with his resolution. So, and it is saying that it will not stop at that, that it would take further actions against Nigeria. Now, we don't know what actions could be taken against Nigeria. We don't know yet. There are all kinds of options open to them, but as I said earlier, if you are a signatory to a UN convention, a UN charter, then you are obligated, at least morally and sensibly, to comply with the content of that that UN convention or UN charter. This is where this has left us. As for when the working group on arbitrary detention, so under the UN Human Rights Council, sent a query to Nigerian authorities and the Kenyan authorities. The Kenyans refused to answer, but the Nigerian officials answered. But the UN working group on arbitrary detention was not convinced by the explanations offered by the Nigerian authorities, especially on the, whether Kanu has committed treason and so deserved the treatment that he got. They were not convinced at all. And it's not difficult to understand why they were not convinced. As far as they are concerned, based on international law, based on international convention, once you want somebody extradited to face trial in your country, you got to let that person go through an extradition trial. The courts of the land would then determine whether to release him or not. How would Nigerians feel if the Americans just stormed Abuja and grabbed Abba Kyari, the highly decorated police officer who was accused of working hand in hand with some of the most notorious advanced fee fraudsters in the world? One of those advanced fee fraudsters is a man from Nigeria who was said to have met Abba Kyari in Dubai. The Americans have their indictment in place, but they have not stormed our country to say they are going to forcibly abduct Abba Kyari and take him to the US to face trial. I know the Americans have done that in the past, and when they did that, they were roundly condemned. I can't, as a person condemn America for abducting Manuel Noriega, the former president of Panama, and some of the other world leaders that they had taken prisoner, and then say that my country did the right thing in the way it handled the Kanu matter. Whatever is right, whatever is wrong is wrong. If the UN convention is that a person should undergo extradition trial when a request is made for that person, then that should be the law. That should be the way people are taken out of another country to face trial in a country where they are deemed to have infringed on the laws of the land. So we didn't do that in the case of Kanu. We took him by force. We subjected him to inhumane conditions and brought him to Nigeria, where he's now facing trial. What we did was against international laws. No matter what anyone feels, it was against international law, and that is why this indictment has come. And Nigeria must not take steps that will cause it to be treated as a pariah nation, that will cause some of our partners that we cherish to begin to see us as a lawless nation, as a nation that does not respect the UN charters and the UN conventions.
Yeah.
You're the light in the wind of the sun.
Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are on the face of this very planet. We assuredly welcome you to another explosive, another exciting edition of our live presentation, going out this very day, the 19th day of the 7th month of the year, July, in the year of our Most High Elohim, 2020. The time now is exactly a minute past 7 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra. Regardless of where you are, what you're doing, we say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you, because there is no other broadcaster that is indigenous to Africa that can boast of a coverage that is truly worldwide, that is truly global. Because across the 24 time zones of this very planet Earth, men, women, and children are listening to this wonderful broadcast. They have come that they may know the truth. They have come that they may become educated and enlightened. This is bar none the greatest university on the face of the earth. Friends of Biafra are listening. Lovers of freedom are listening. Even our enemies are coming to be educated. And I'm very, very happy and I'm very glad that even those in Calabar and its environs in Cross River State, Acom, going all the way into the blessed land of Ambazonia, they are all listening. Because CHK 102.1 FM is in Calabar as we speak. It is also in Acom, transmitting all the way into Ambazonia. We are unstoppable. There is no force on this very earth that is capable of even slowing us down. We have come to do the will of the Most High, the God Almighty in heaven, workers of iniquity, the children of perdition, those who are fathered by the Janjaweed before and during, even after the war. Those who have come to do the work of Lucifer. We welcome each and every one of you, because before your eyes Biafra will be restored, and everything humanly possible is being done to ensure that that is the case. As I welcome you, I will ask you to welcome those who are around you, I have not forgotten the very wonderful work we are doing with Alemajiri and the Janjaweed. They too are more than welcome to join us to understand that has been hidden from them, because in the zoo there is no history. In the zoo, the education system, exactly the same way their security architecture is no longer existent, is how it has precipitously collapsed. Only here on Radio Biafra is the truth being spoken. I say it with every assurance. I say it with every conviction. If you want to know the truth, you must listen to us. Everything else is hogwash. Everything else they tell you is bunkum. Here you get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. We remain spotlessly clean, whiter than white and whiter than snow. That is why we possess the Midas touch. Anything we touch turns into gold. Everything we touch turns into gold. That is why we have placed the zoo where we want it to be. Of course, Biafra has, not us. Or should I say, through the work that we are doing. The zoo is rocking. It is collapsing every blessed day. And I maintain that as the rock is still empty. There's nobody there. They can play all the games they like, but as long as you come with your pen and your paper and a bit of common sense with you, as long as the Janjaweed do not forget their slate and their chalk, as long as those of them who wish to learn do not forget their pencil and their writing material, then they are more than welcome to participate, because this is the thing you're going to learn. That thing that is hidden from you, all those things they don't want you to know, here you will learn all of them. Because we are not going back, we don't understand what the word retreat means. Ever since we came to perform these very noble tasks we have been ordained by heaven to undertake, we have never taken a step backwards. It's only forward that we have been going. That is why those who are not able to be part of what we are doing, they are doing their damn best to ensure that they can become part of IPOB, but they can never be. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. Because for you to be IPOB means you're chosen by God in heaven to carry out a work on this very earth. If you're not chosen from birth, you cannot be IPOB. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of this very global phenomenon, IPOB, the largest mass movement on the face of the earth. The only people who, without guns or bullets, manage to cripple the government of a contraption. So much so that today they have taken to childishness in order to try to curtail this very excellent work that we are doing. I am the director of Radio Biafra and Biafra Television, and a very humble servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. We do not condone evil. We do not condone lies. We do not condone treachery. We do not condone sabotage. We do not condone those who are fathered by the workers of iniquity. Here we are relentlessly marching towards Biafra restoration, and there is nothing anybody can do about it. It is a challenge to ever. Sometimes we say it and they say we are arrogant. Of course we are not. It's a challenge to every idiot out there. If you think you can try. Try as much as you can. Do everything within your powers. Gossip your lives away all you care. We are unstoppable. Wanting to get this year, and then you will know how serious we are. And there will be no pity. Sabo, oh, heaven forbid. There will be no pity. When the time comes, don't I didn't warn you. We must hand over our proceedings to the Most High as always. Because without God in heaven, we are nothing. Without IPOB cannot be where it is today. Without the Creator of the heavens and the earth, I will not be alive today. Therefore, we must hand over our proceedings. I proudly proclaim it, that without God, there will be no Biafra. I told Ifeanyi, my friend, many years ago, nearly 15 years ago, I said to him in London that we cannot proceed unless the God Almighty in heaven takes center stage. And that is what we have done. And that is why we are unstoppable. We don't worship idol. I don't worship idol. Anything that the hand of man touches cannot be worshipped and cannot be God. I proclaim that is why IPOB is formidable. We are formidable because we worship one true God in heaven. The God of every creation, the God of every religion, the God of every faith and every persuasion. Because only Him and Him alone does every glory, adoration, adulation and praise belong to. We must worship Him. And this very evening, with the time standing at 9 minutes past 7 p.m. in the land of Biafra and the same number of minutes past the top of the hour wherever you are, we are going to pray the Psalm of David. It is a prayer I pray all the time for IPOB. It is a prayer that I pray for all the children of Biafra wherever they are on the face of this very earth. If you are a Biafran and you are genuine, you are IPOB. If you are not, then you are at liberty to call yourself whatever you choose. But for us, we are the children of the Most High, the very chosen millions, I should say. Not millions, but millions right across the world, doing the work that will bring in light into the darkness that Africa has become. That is the pivotal position Biafra is occupying in the affairs of those who come from the southern hemisphere, especially those of, should I say, of a slightly darker skin color, so to speak. And let us pray, please. Wherever you are, you must bow down your heads and we must pray. According to the preacher, the psalmist, and he prayed to the Most High, and he said, whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. And when I pray this prayer, I place IPOB at the very center of the grace of God. And I will say of Elohim, you are my refuge and my fortress, you are my God in whom I trust. Because you will save your children from the foul snare and from the deadly pestilence, even COVID-19. For you will cover us with your feathers, and under your wings are we finding refuge today, regardless of what the enemies do, regardless of what the very brutal state have done to your children, all the massacres everywhere at Mpo, in Aba, in Onisha, in Enugu, in Mbama, in Bayelsa, everywhere in Iguacha, they have tried to eliminate your children, they have tried to instill fear into us, but we have risen to continue our relentless march, because you have found favor in us, O Heavenly Father. We are not afraid of the terrorists that come by night, those of them in army uniform of the zoo, those of them from their police or from their DSS, nor their arrows that fly by the day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. People are falling everywhere. People are capitulating. They are joining the Janjaweed in the prolongation of their own subjugation. But we have remained, this very IPOB, resolute and strong, unshakable, unbribable, unbuyable. That is why they fall by our right and our left, but nothing shall touch us, because we are observing with our own eyes the punishment that is being visited upon the wicked. For we will continue to say, the Lord is our refuge, and the Most High God Chukukikabiama is our dwelling place. No harm shall overcome us. No disaster shall come close to the tent of IPOB. For angels of heaven are under instructions to protect this very noble family and all that it represents, until Biafra is restored to the glory of the God in heaven, the Most High, the Creator of the heavens and the earth, now and forevermore we pray. He said, as I said, those of you in Calabar, you are listening. Those in Ecom, you are listening. Very shortly, we are going to restore our relay station in Warri as well. We are expanding. Even Abuja will hear from us very shortly. Everywhere you go, people will receive this very noble gospel without further hesitation. We are going to delve in directly to our presentation this very evening. I know that everybody is listening. Even people are hiding under the bed to listen. Some are in their wardrobe, some are in their cupboard, some are pretending they are watching something on YouTube. But of course, they should be listening to us. Because this very evening, if you want to participate in what we are doing, you must go to my Facebook page at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If you go to any of our apps, you will be able to listen to us. We are also on YouTube. People are listening to us via satellite. Those of you with strong decoder, if you want to be a part of what we are doing, you're more than welcome to do so. But you must not be possessed of weak constitution, because here we tell you the truth the way it is, without fear nor favor. This very evening I want to build a foundation upon which we are going to rest our gospel, so to speak. It is a news that we discovered, so to speak, or somebody brought to my attention from the BBC. It is the story about slavery, how a Biafran, the headline says, my Nigerian grandfather, or should I say great-grandfather, sold slaves. The reason why I have chosen this is because it is very simple. I want to let the world understand, and especially we black people from Africa, to know this, that we are going through the mess we are going through today, all the suffering, all the pain, all the poverty, all the hunger, all the deprivation, all the absence of infrastructure, because we want to go through all these difficulties. It is not the fault of the white man. I'm making it abundantly clear. According to this very, of course, coming from the BBC, you know, we are all slightly should I say, we have our doubts about it. But what I want you to understand is that this very epistle from this lady is absolutely correct. We are the architect of our own problems. Therefore, what it means, therefore, is that for us to solve this very problem, we must also look inwards. Not externally, but inwards. All the problems afflicting us is our own making. If we want to get away from it, we must be able to look at ourselves and tell ourselves the truth. There is a debate going on all over the world about race relations, which is racism, colonialism, and slavery. Now, this is the headline from BBC, or should I say the subtext under their headline. Some of Europeans and Americans who have made their fortunes in trading human beings have seen their legacies reassessed, their statues toppled, and their names removed from public buildings. In other words, white people in America, white people in Europe have visited everybody who had a hand in slavery. They've realized their mistakes, and they have done the noble thing by pulling down all the statues, by making sure that the buildings named after these dealers in human beings is torn down. But there is another side to it. Before the white man came, what was the behavior of your local village African? What were you doing with your own people? That tells you everything you need to know about who we are. And the reason why Radio Biafra came and IPOB is here today, for the world to understand that we have recognized that the problems that we are going through is not as a result of colonialism. It is not as a result of whatever a white man may have done. The difficulties we are facing, not just in Biafra land, not just in the wider Nigeria, not even in Sub-Saharan Africa, is because of the way a black man reasons. That is all. Nothing more, nothing less. And over the years, the people that are called the neo-colonialists, they are the most horrible set of people ever. Those who are saying to us that our engineers cannot build bridges, For you to build a bridge, you have to go and bring Julius Berger from Germany. For you to build a road, you have to go to China to go and build a construction firm. Whereas there are graduates who are engineers at home from our own universities who cannot get a job to build the roads that we all need as a critical infrastructure for any society to function. I want people to understand this. The problem with Africa is this: if you continue to reason like a typical black person, there will never be any improvement in your life. You need to change the way you reason. There was something we learned, something I learned personally from studying in Europe, in England for that matter. There is something they do very cleverly, and I want you to understand this. Do you know that coronavirus is rampaging the whole of America, destroying lives, laying cities to, should I say, communities to waste? People are dying every day. Everybody knows that that very virus came from a lab in Wuhan in China. That very virus was transmitted right across Europe. It went to Italy, it caused a lot of havoc. It went to France, it killed a lot of people. It went into UK, it devastated populations. It went into America, and it's still ravaging. Do you know one thing I discovered about white people? Do you know in all these countries of Western Europe and North America, none of them have ever risen up to blame China? President Trump has said it now and again. But in the end, the people of America keep reminding him that you were ill prepared. You didn't prepare very well for it. Do you see how white people reason? Although the virus emanated from China, they expect their governments to have done something about it. They don't expect the Chinese to save them. They expect their own government to save them. Now, compare that with how people reason in Africa, how we Africans reason. Whenever there is a problem, we look to blame an outsider. We never blame our own shortcomings, because Americans are saying to President Trump, the reason why we have CIA, we have Secret Service, we have all these people working and being paid through taxpayer money is for you to anticipate all these problems even before they get to us and to prepare to mitigate them. Do you understand? But in Africa, we never hold ourselves responsible for anything. And that is why we are suffering. That is why you see people all over the place not knowing their left from their right. We never blame ourselves for anything. Yes, racism is very bad. Slavery is very bad. All of these things are horrible. But ask yourself a very simple question. Who gave the white man the impetus to come to West Africa to offload our people? Literally, harvest us from our villages and take us to the Caribbean, to the Americas, to Europe, to become slaves to fellow human beings. Do you understand? Do you now follow? Now, listen very carefully. There is a Biafran journalist. Her name is Adobe Tricia Nwobani. She wrote about how her ancestors sold slaves. We sold our own people. People are wondering, why are we suffering? Why is there no light, no good roads, nothing seems to be functioning, no good hospitals? Every day is like a cursed day in our lives. There is no country in West Africa that is doing very well. People don't know where these problems are coming from. The problems are coming from the fact that you sold your own people to foreigners, to enslave them, to subjugate them. The same thing is happening today with the Fulefus and the Traitors and the Saboteurs. They keep selling their people. They are not content. They keep selling them. They keep undermining any effort that will bring about liberation. They are against it. These are the modern day slave traders that you have. But they don't have human beings to sell. If they did, they would have sold all of us. This is about unmaking, not the making of the white man. Adobe Tricia Nwobani wrote a book, and in it, in the extract, she said, my great-grandfather Nwobani Ogogo Riaku was what I prefer to call a businessman from the Igbo ethnic group of southeastern Nigeria. He dealt in a number of goods, including tobacco and palm produce. He also sold human beings. Now, do you understand it? And I have said this thing to you before, even in the scriptures, because there is no family, there is nobody anywhere in Biafra land that doesn't anchor their faith on the existence and the benevolence of the Most High, that is a God in heaven. And they also know, a majority of them in this day and age, base their belief systems, or should I say their understanding of the mystery of God the Creator around the Torah, the Old Testament, and the New Testament. Put together they call the Bible. Everybody believes in that. And if you go there into the Word of God, He has said it many, many times. You don't kidnap people, which was what we were doing and selling to white people. You don't sell your own people. It is very clearly written. In other words, we have broken the two cardinal rules that God gave to us that we shouldn't break. And that is why Africa is suffering. I want to start this evening by telling you that the problem that we have is in us. It is inside us as a people, as a race. And we must eradicate it. She wanted to say, my father had agents. They captured slaves. Kidnapping didn't start today. They captured slaves. They called them slaves. These are free people who went to the farm to go and farm. Somebody will come and grab them, tie them for a white man, and deliver to the white man and collect money. And you want God to love you. Is that what you think? You want God to... The same thing that is happening today. The same thing that is happening today, there is no difference. They will sell you. They will do everything they can in order to get ahead in life. All they are looking for is money. They sold slaves through Calabar and Bonny, through Opobo. People from, listen carefully, of course she's correct. People from ethnic groups along the coast, such as the Efik and the Zon, usually acted as street dogs, which they come, the white man will meet them and say, I want you to be a middleman, I want you to start selling your people. They give them tobacco, they give them snuff, they give them cigarettes, they give them whiskey. And this business has begun. You now start to sell your own people. I am saying this for the whole world to understand that as you're blaming white people for slavery and tearing down the statutes of slave dealers and slave traders, you must not forget one simple fact. It was Africans that sold their own people before the white man came. Before the Europeans came, we used to sell to the Arabs. We used to sell to the Arabs. When that one closed, the Pope announced you can go to Africa and take slaves. They started coming to West Africa, and we obliged them. Dahomey was emptied. Badagry was emptied. Along the entire coast was emptied. All the way to Gabon, emptied of our people. There are the blacks that are still being killed in America till this very day. That is the history of our people. And upon this very simple foundation are we going to weave the entire broadcast tonight, for you to understand that the difficulties we're encountering, the problems we're having on a daily basis is down to the very simple fact that we don't know how to take care of one another. We don't understand it. We don't look at our actions and say to ourselves, is what we are doing inimical to the advancement of our people or not? We don't do that. We don't do it. And in IPOB or Radio Biafra, we tell ourselves the raw, painful truth that we may learn from it and advance. And that's what we're doing tonight. Now listen very carefully. Our problem is this. Because we are fighting for liberation. Everybody wants to be free. Absolutely everyone. Oduduwa wants to be free. Middle Belt wants to be free. Hausa wants to be free. Kanu wants to. Everybody in the abominable contraption, the zoo, wants to be free. Now ask yourselves, why are you not free? It's because of the greed of some people. Other people see themselves, oh, I am the governor. So if freedom for our people means that I will no longer be called Her Excellency or His Excellency, then to hell with freedom for everybody. This is a typical enslaved master. That is how they behave. Because I'm a senator. And if freedom means dissolving the whole of the zoo called Nigeria, if dissolving Nigeria will bring freedom to people, then I don't want that freedom. Because now is my turn. I'm going to be here for 8 years. I am a senator. I want to make that money that others have made before me. This is how they reason. I want the world to understand that even in a place like Nigeria, even in an abominable contraption that the white man created, the same white man that came to take you, created a nation for you and you accepted, the same people who are there today, they are the architects, they are their own worst enemies. That is how a black man reasons. When I say it, somebody wrote to me angrily and said, you are promoting white, supremacy. And I said, no, you are being very ignorant. I am telling, can you fault anything I say? Forget about the delivery of the message. Can you fault anything I say? He told me, no, I cannot fault it. I said, then what is your problem? That is the thing about black people. They don't want to learn, correct their mistakes, and move on. I'm asking you, somebody said that I will not allow, I know that everybody, every pundit in the world, every commentator, every analyst, everybody knows that for there to be freedom for all, Nigeria has to fall, Nigeria has to fall. They know it. Once you dissolve the zoo, Nigeria, everybody will be free. They know it very well. Even a rat, a cockroach, Ochita knows about this. Now ask yourself, why is that not happening? Because there are people with vested interest. Oh, you're telling me I'll be here and Nigeria will collapse. Once Nigeria collapses, that means I will no longer be making money. That means I may lose my house in Katsina. I'm an Igbo man, I'm in Sokoto. That means my shop. But in that his shop, he'll be there one day, he will be killed inside his shop. His neighbors have been killed. He can see it very clearly. Now, that is the way that black people reason. That is what we have come to do, to let them understand that if you continue to reason this way, there can never be any improvement in your life. Impossible. And they have their agents. There are people, ask anybody of a sound mind, what is it about Nigeria that you want to keep Nigeria as one? What is it that Nigeria is absolutely nothing unless they are corrupt, their politicians or their agents, or they are hoping that their village will get their own turn in the year 2099? Is that how human beings are supposed to behave? Is that how people with brain is supposed to behave, I ask? Do you now see that the problem of black people is black people and not white people? White people are doing what they are supposed to do. It is called taking advantage. That is how life is. That is how human nature works. You made yourselves commodities and they came and they bought you. They took you by force. You put yourself in that position. That is what our sister is writing about, and that is the truth. Have we begged the world? Have you seen black people gather together and go to America and beg black Americans? Kneel down. People are doing taking the knee. You see Nancy Pelosi. You see a few world leaders, kneeling down in deference to Black Lives Matter. The people, the real culprits, we Africans are the real criminals, the real culprits in this. Have we ever gone to America to say to Americans, please, black Americans, we are sorry for what our ancestors did. What they did is absolutely, it's abominable, it is horrible, it is terrible. We've not done it. Because we don't like taking responsibility. Not at all. People, because of political ambition, you want to run for office. I had a lawyer once representing me when I was incarcerated. And they asked him, he said his business is not about if Nnamdi Kanu is out or not, or dies in prison. He wants to go and contest for House of Reps. And he used my name to get close to the governor of Enugu State so he can go and contest for House of Reps. Those are black people for you. That comes to what I want to preach tonight. The lack of consistency in black people. They never believe in one thing and believe in that thing. They keep going. They keep going no matter the obstacle. They keep going. After a while, they just fall by the wayside. Very fickle-minded, very feeble. We lack discipline. We lack discipline, and we lack dedicated focus. Why do you think IPOB is a phenomenon all over the world? Everybody talks about IPOB for good or for bad. It's up to them. But you must discuss us. You must talk about us. You must. Because we have a stranglehold over you. Do you know why? Do you know why you must discuss IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, Biafra every day? Do you know why? Because we are resolutely dedicated to the pursuit of freedom for Biafra.
and for every other trapped ethnic nationality in the damnable zoological republic. And do you know the funniest thing? Is that the people we are fighting for, they know this. Even the Hausa man knows. If you ask him, a Hausa man will tell you, Nnamdi Kanu is fighting for me. I feel this fight. Somebody in Yoruba will tell you something because they understand. They can look beyond all the noise, basically, and understand what we stand for. And we have been doing it consistently. Consistently. No amount of intimidation, no amount of extrajudicial killings, no amount of bribery, no amount of cajoling, nothing is going to, and they know it. Our enemies, they understand. That is why they are afraid of us. And they must be. Who are you not to be afraid of IPOB? Who are you? You must be afraid of us. Is it because we kill? No, we don't. Do we have guns? Are we militants? Of course we do. We don't have any guns. We're not militants. But ask yourself, why are they afraid of a group of people, a nation of unarmed people? Within it lies all the answer to your paranoia. Within it. We are not focused. We are easily distracted by rubbish. Every person rubbish. We get distracted by it. Churchill once said, and somebody posted it a few days ago, if you throw stone at every barking dog on your way to something very important, you will never get your destination. Every idiotic dog that comes out and barks, you respond. Every idiot that speaks, you respond. How can you be focused and focus on the enemy? That's what the enemy wants you to do, to become distracted. Our focus at all is that rock. Our focus is the collapse of that rock. You don't shake from it. You don't allow yourself to become diverted. You remain focused like a laser beam because it's empty. Empty. We must focus on that thing that we have come for, which is freedom. That is number one. Everything else is secondary and inconsequential. Some idiots thought my absence for a few days an opportunity for them to showcase their stupidity and power-hungry tendencies. Let me see the idiot I have come. Let me see the fool, or should I say fools? People who are not disciplined. Who are not disciplined. It's only in Africa you have somebody that a civilian president appointed and promoted him or her to a major general position, or maybe as a brigadier general. And after 2 days, they plot a coup. That is the idiotic thing about, that is the stupid thing about black people in Africa. We are so useless. We don't reason. That was why coup plotting became a craze in Africa. And a black man thinks, if I'm holding AK-47, I'm powerful, I can now rule everybody. They all went to school where a general will kneel down before a civilian president. They learned nothing. They will never learn anything. That is the thing about black people. And that is why we seek for freedom for Biafra. We want to build a nation that the world will look at and they will marvel. They will say, my goodness, we never thought that black can do such a thing. That is why we preach to you the way we do. That is why we are uncompromising in the way we lecture you about what you need to know before we go into Biafra. Because Biafra cannot be like the zoo. Our sister posted earlier today that even these days that men gossip more than women. I said, yes, when you're born under the bridge in Ojuelaba, what do you expect? Near a dustbin, a stinking dustbin. What do you expect? Those of us that grew up in the village, we have no time for such rubbish. No time for such nonsense. Who are you that will talk about you? It's only idiots that talk about human beings. Great people talk about ideas. That is what we're doing in IPOB. That idea is freedom for Biafra. Nothing else. If you stand in front of us, we will crush you completely and totally. Those you know, but they ran away, didn't they? The church all the youths 1 years ago, they ran away. When IPOB came, just for burial, they ran away. And we'll catch them one by one. And we'll set example with them that other people may learn. That other fallen fathered bastards in our land, they will learn. I have given the order. An example will be set with Oba that others will learn. that next time when we speak, they listen. What happened yesterday was just a preamble. They should keep running because we'll get them. They want you to engage the Kulefus and forget about HAUSA-SERVICE, which is where we're heading to. That's our focus is HAUSA-SERVICE, the collapse of it. Not any, forget about the Kulefu, traitors, what they're saying around you. That was how they deceived us for very many years. It's the minority. South and the Southeast. Southeast, Bendel. Bendel or Delta. The Delta to Niger Delta. Nobody knows who or she is anymore. Any name they give you, you take. Every rubbish that comes, you accept. Every nonsense, every garbage. Oh, they hate you. Oh, do you know that they hate you, man? Do you know if they hate you? I said, who told you that? Who told you? You accept every garbage they give you. And here we can't accept it. Absolutely not. I grew up in the village, and everybody knows how much we hate housefly. You know how much we hate housefly where we come from. Everybody hates flies, we hate it. If you're eating a fly perches on any part of your gari or apple, you quickly cut it out, or even rice. You take that bit that the fly perched on and you throw it away. I want you to listen to what I'm saying now very, very carefully about flies, because Sabo and Traitors are like flies. Those who are just buzzing around, they're like flies. I want you to understand this very carefully. When you're eating in the village, or anywhere for that matter, and a fly perches on any part of your food, what do? You cut out that part of the food and throw it away, because you feel it's contaminated. Yes? Good. But remember this. Despite this very fact that we don't want flies around us, anytime a fly is as stupid as to fall into a keg or barrel of palm wine, what do? Would we throw the palm wine away? No. We quietly filter out the flies and proceed to drink that same palm wine, because that is an indication that that wine is very healthy. Anytime you see sabo buzzing around your ears, know that what you're doing is great. We are the only freedom fighting movement standing. Not just in Biafra and not just in the Zoological Republic. The whole of Africa as a whole, only IPOB is standing, bearing this very standard of freedom and hope for every single black person on the face of the earth. That's what we represent. And when a fly falls into your palm wine, you filter it out. It is called mamiji. Some of you that know. You quietly you drink that wine. We never throw away palm wine because a fly fell into it. No. But remember, if a that same fly touches your food, you will take that part of your food and you throw it away. That is what all these detractors are trying to do to you. When they fall into your wine, as I do, palm wine, you filter them out. You drink it. You don't say why you drink it. To tell them that they are nothing. That's how you're supposed to behave, because you're IPOB. You are chosen by God Almighty in heaven to fight for the freedom of not just yourself, but every oppressed black person on the face of the earth. And we are not going to accomplish it through sentiments. It is not something you do by mere wishful thinking. It is something you accomplish by doing that which is right. Remain focused and disciplined. Don't allow yourselves to be distracted. Of course not. Of course not. The same goes for Sabo. You need saboteurs to make you appreciate how potent IPOB is, because when else they cannot come. If that one is not good, the fly can never come close to it. Do you understand that? That was how somebody was. They said that a fly is like a poison tester for you. In the olden days, elders will watch a fly. Any food they perch on and die, that food a human cannot consume it. Are you aware of that? That is, do you know you cannot drink perfume? If you open, a vial of perfume, if you open your bottle of perfume and you leave it, will a fly come to it? A fly cannot come to it. If you drink that perfume, you'll be poisoned. You may die from it. I don't want to go into too much, because that is the advantage of growing up in the village. When you grow up in the village, you know a lot of things. When you grow up under a bridge somewhere, I feel sorry for you. And some of you from there, you travel abroad. That's the bye-bye now. What do you know? Not absolutely nothing. The only thing that ties you to Biafra land is just your name. Apart from your name, you are not a Biafran. Absolutely not. You need people to remind you as to how potent you are. Without all these professional gossipers, you're nobody. I have to tell you how mighty IPOB is, the whole world over. And that is why we managed to be able to bring the zoo down to its knees. The people they call miscreants, all manner of names. What haven't they called us before? Today, the zoo is on its knees because of what God Almighty is doing with IPOB. We are the people that stopped the zoo. For people who do not know, we are IPOB. We are the ones that stopped the zoo, Nigeria, from having a president. They have no president. Do they have one? Let him come out and do a live interview. Let him address Nigerians live. Let him address inhabitants of the zoo, Niger area. Let him come out live. Do you know why? IPOB. Who says you're not powerful? You don't know how strong you are. You have no idea. Why do you think they want to distract attention? Because you're mighty. Because of this IPOB, the world has no regard for the zoo. They are crying. No one has any regard for them. We are simply unstoppable, and our enemies understand this. I'm ashamed that some of us spend time responding to inconsequential idiots that nobody has ever heard about. The only reason why you hear about these tools is because they mention IPOB. You have to be relevant, you have to mention IPOB, or else you're nobody. You are nobody. If you want contract in Abuja, you castigate IPOB in Nnamdi Kanu. If you want to get ahead in life, you must say something bad about Biafra. That is how powerful we are. That without our names, people, nobody will know who these idiots are. That's how powerful you are, if you don't know. Ask them, okay, talk about yourself. They won't exist. Never exist. Nobody will know them. That's how strong we are. How powerful we are. We are unstoppable. Absolutely that. Parasites will come. They need our name to shine. We must ignore them and watch them disappear. Our firepower from tonight is going to be focused on the zoo and nothing else. Some of you are foolishly engaging idiots that have no standing and no reckoning. Absolutely none whatsoever. Our future, if we continue this way, is going to be like that of the departed Ezekiel's work. For those who don't know about the danger that the zoo Nigeria portends, if you want to know how damaging Nigeria is to an average, sensible human being, the story of the late engineer Ezekiel's work is a timely reminder. Or the Yoruba girl that was killed, the helicopter pilot. Some of you are aware of all these things. Why did these people die? Ask yourself that. Because of a place called Nigeria. In any other place in the world, they'll still be alive and thriving. In any other place, Ezekiel's work will be like Henry Ford. Somebody, do you know that the fact that you're driving a car today, or let me just say in the 40s or in the 50s or in the 60s, was because of a man called Henry Ford. Do you know what Henry Ford did? Henry Ford commercialized automobile production. He industrialized it. He made cars affordable for ordinary people. And that was why he was voted the capitalist, or should I say the businessman of the 20th century. Henry Ford. We have here in Ezekiel's work, we have our own Henry Ford, but because he's a Biafran, because he's blessed, and unfortunately he found himself in a British contraction called Nigeria. His life ended in failure, not for him personally, but for society. Now he's dead because he's a Nigerian. And all the support and help he should have received, all that support and help, they are now in hotel buildings in Dubai, in plush mansions in London, in Swiss bank accounts. Why? Because of Nigeria. And that is why we want it to fall, by all means. Is this the future you want for look at your child? Some of you have very bright children, boys and girls, who want to be engineers, who want to create something, technicians, they want to build something. Maybe some of them are right now showcasing their talent. Look at his work. I want to let you know that as long as Nigeria exists, as long as Nigeria is existing, you can never attain your full potential unless you're a criminal in politics. They are the only ones who attain their life's ambition, which is to loot, and to keep looting. That is the pinnacle of success in the zoo, is how much you have stolen. Ezekiel's work is dead. Is that the truth? This is a man that in any sane society they would have nurtured him. Everybody right now who could afford a car would have a car very peacefully. There will be taxes rolling in. There will be export potential for the cars, the automobiles that he's making. His name will be on the car, his work, maybe. The white people, they had a man called Henry Ford. That man went on, even Daimler. Remember Daimler? In Daimler Benz, yes? These are human beings. They are not angels from heaven. They are fellow human beings. If you cut their skin, you see red blood coming out. In their own land, because they are white people, they appreciate something good. They were nurtured. Today, some of you ride a Ford pickup. You're having fun, but you have your own talent, your own engineer, your own God-given automobile expert. He died in regret, misery, and pain. And that is the type of country you want me to belong to? Hey, please, for goodness sake. If you want the future of your child to be like that of Ezekiel's work, then all well and good. The ability to live as free men and women in a land where the struggles of this world can flourish and thrive is what we are pursuing. In Biafra land, every talent. You know, in the zoo, it's only their children of politicians, it's only their child that is good enough for anything, for scholarship, for everything. How many times have they set up any kind of competition? Let's say science competition, to say the best science students will get scholarship to MIT. They will never do it. Is it that they don't have the money? Of course the money is there. They are using it to go and buy mansions in Dubai. Is that the type of country you want? Is that the type of people you want us to respect? Huh? My goodness. This is the type of country that Facebook is supporting. Facebook wants the whole Nigeria to continue, so that the suffering can continue. They are the real racists. These are the real people. Black people must reason. The likes of Trump telling you the truth, they are the ones that love you. Black people, we want people to massage our ego, even when we are failing. Someone say, oh, you're doing very well. Oh, black and proud. You're very black and beautiful. All rubbish. Pure rubbish. It's not true. It's not true. And the next is not true. Ezekiel's work is dead. If had the US government frustrated Henry Ford the same way that Nigeria frustrated Ezekiel's work because it's a Biafran, the history of mass production of automobile would have been different. White people nurture creativity. Black people, they kill it. I don't know where they get that. There is this wicked envy in a black man. There is this, I don't know, abundance of jealousy in a black man. Rather than promote a fellow black person who is doing very well, they prefer to kill that very person, and then go and do boy to a white person. Somebody said they are doing it to develop kilishi. They are doing kilishi. Oh dear me, people think that we just woke up one morning and decided to hate Nigeria. They don't like Nigeria. They are trying to bring the nation down. And I'm asking you a very simple question: which other people in this world will have somebody like Ezekiel's work and allow him to die like this without fulfilling his potential? So now his death is gone back to his maker. The God that brought him to bring automobile to black people in Africa, how do you think that God will feel now? The God that brought it, God said, I have given talent to every nation. To you black people in Africa, I'm giving you Ezekiel's work. Take him, nurture him, let him build cars for you. Some of you are saying, oh, I'm trekking too much. My mother is trekking in the village. I'm struggling. How do I get a car? But God gave you somebody who is a car maker by nature. What did you do to him? What did you people do to the person that the Africans, Africa's version of Henry Ford? What did you do to him? Because he's a Biafran. Because an Igbo man. And you want me to love Nigeria, to support Nigeria. Do you see how foolish you sound? All of you talking rubbish, I saw some idiots there talking nonsense about Nigeria. Are you not ashamed of yourselves? Where is Ezekiel's work today? Where is he? Where is he? Nowhere to be found. And please don't say nothing. He doesn't assemble cars. He assembles the parts of the cars. His work fabricates the parts of the cars that he built. The car that he built, he fabricated them. So there's a difference from car assembly to car maker. A car maker is not somebody who owns an assembly plant, no. He fabricated all the materials that he used. For your information, there is something satanic in the brain of certain, I will not say all, certain black people. Satan dwells in them. Satan dwells in them. And it's a good thing that they can't see Biafra, of course. They know they can't. So those of you who accuse me of promoting white supremacist agenda, you can now understand how foolish you sound and how foolish you are, because I weep for your ignorance. To a typical black man, truth is always very bitter to swallow. I am delighted because this very evening, my voice is being heard across every major part of the world, including Efik and Ekom lands, and into Amazonia, so they understand who their brothers are. Because I foresee in the future that Amazonia and Biafra will go into some kind of an alliance and federation, because we are the same people. The gospel of truth must be preached regardless of who gets upset or who gets wound up in the process. See, they're irrelevant to us. Absolutely irrelevant to us. Because the truth must be preached at all times. Ezekiel, his work, is dead. What was the name of his car again? Z600 it was called. The name of the car that he manufactured. Z600. Very, very sad indeed. He is Africa's foremost car inventor and manufacturer. Manufacturer, this is assembly plant, no. Manufacturer. There's a difference. Unbelievable. And people are running all over the place and talking nonsense about this view, Nigeria, our country, our place. And I said to them, you talking about some stupid president, how many times have you seen him? How many times have you seen your so-called president? I said, how many times have you seen him? How many times has he addressed you live? COVID-19 is ravaging the whole world. How many times has he come out live to preach, to speak, to talk to you? None. That means there is nobody there. But you are blinded by ignorance and the damnation from Satan that you cannot see. You are blind, you cannot see. Zoo animals. You cannot reason, you cannot see. The same garbage every blessed day. Who would want their daughter to enroll in an army where Boko Haram recruits are the officers? I ask you, because there is a Yoruba girl that was killed in the military barracks, killed. You see, there is something I don't understand about black people in this country, especially people in the zoo, Nigeria. How do you people actually, there's something called rationalization, the process of reasoning, being able to chew through ideas and come out with something that is sensible or something meaningful. Boko Haram is against women going to school. Boko Haram is against women becoming teachers and doctors and nurses, and even talk less of being a helicopter pilot. And in that same environment, these Boko Haram people are being recruited into the army, where you have a young Yoruba girl, a helicopter pilot. I want you to understand this very clearly. Look at how Zoo people reason. The same, why is it that Boko Haram and ISWAP, why are they fighting? They want Islamic rule. And in Islam, in their own version of Islam, so to speak, are women allowed to become helicopter pilots? The answer is no. Then why are you recruiting Boko Haram into the army where you have female pilots and female officers? Simple question. Can you answer it? No, of course you can't. You're a zoo animal. Nigeria. What do you know? Your brains are empty. What is wrong with you people that common sense eludes you Nigerians? Nigerians, you people cannot reason. You can't. Oh my goodness me. Why can't you people reason by understanding that only Biafra can set all of you free? Do you think we are doing what we are doing just for ourselves? We want everybody to be free. Absolutely everybody. Not just Biafrans. We want to set everybody free. Up to and even including Janjaweed. We want people to be free. You cannot become free unless the zoo is down, unless Nigeria ceases to exist. As long as Nigeria, that's the proper pronunciation, not Nigeria is the Nigeria, it sounds a bit, okay. The proper name is Nigeria. If you go to Germany, give anybody in Germany, give a German your passport and say, please, where do you think I come from? He will call you Nigeria. You're Nigerian. A nigger from a nigger area, that is who you are. Double nigger, that's who you are. That's why you have in the original pronunciation you have double G. In the original spelling, double G, double nigger from a nigger area. A Yoruba girl was killed. We will talk about this thing now, and it will become a social media phenomenon for a few days, and after that we all forget. Typical black people, that's how we are. After a few days we all forget. We all forget. The death of Tolupe Arotile was not an accident. She was murdered. She was killed. An army officer, Yoruba girl, as a mathematician. That in any other place in the world, she will be somewhere receiving government grant and, try to find solution to the power shortage. She is a mathematician. Everything in life is mathematics, if you know that. But that will be a talk for another day. She was killed because of her audacity to conduct successful combat missions against Boko Haram. I've told you before, they believe in their own warped kind of Islam, that if you're killed by a woman, you cannot meet 72 virgins in heaven. You cannot go to heaven. If you're a man and you're killed by a woman, your life is, in fact, you will spend eternity in poverty. Here you have a Yoruba girl recruited into the army to fight terrorists and bandits. Instead, she was killed in the barracks by those who are sympathetic to the ideals and ideas and philosophy and mindset of terrorists. I want people to understand it and digest it very well. She was killed. This Yoruba girl was murdered because she had the audacity to go into an aircraft to be unleashing bombs on men. That's why they killed her. Do you understand? Are you still a proud Nigerian? Are you still proud of Nigeria? She wasn't killed in the battlefield. No, not at all. She was killed in the barracks. Do you know what that means? You people, I feel sorry. I don't know what is wrong with black people. Why can't we reason? You have a Boko Haram, you have a terrorist group with a very warped mindset about the position of women in a society, and you're recruiting those people into the army. And in that army that you're recruiting these terrorists into, you have women who are serving. And you're telling me that people are sensible, that they are reasonable? Is that what you're telling me? She's dead. All they will do, maybe they will give the parents her salary for 2 months, probably around 80,000 naira, less than 200 pounds. They will give that to the family. People will say, oh, we are sorry, we are going to investigate all these things, and nobody does nothing. It's over. She's dead. All the money, even the salary they have paid her is not enough to cover her school fees at secondary school level. So the parents gave birth to this girl, trained her. She's a mathematician, very, very bright and intelligent, and her life just ended like that. I know she signed up as a soldier. She may die in combat, yes, but not to be killed in the barracks. That's what happened to her. Go and tell her parents about one Nigeria and see what they will do to you. This is the zoo. In a country, the people she's fighting, their comrades are her fellow officers in the army. Do you understand? Because you're serving alongside the so-called repentant Boko Haram, and you're going out and you're killing their comrades, and you think they'll be happy? Of course not. They'll kill you, and that's what they have done. They've killed her. And the zoo, as usual, what will happen? Nothing. They will say there's an inquiry. We'll stop an inquiry. We are going to get to the bottom of this, and nothing happened. Nothing will ever happen. Absolutely nothing will happen. That is how the zoo operates. And that is why we hate them with a passion. And as this evil is happening every blessed day, that is one thing about Nigeria that I don't understand. God created human beings to have brain, to be able to reason. And I keep every day as I wake up, when I see the behavior of black people, I keep asking myself, is it, God, are you sure that there was no mistake somewhere? Your God doesn't make mistakes, you know that. But are you sure that something didn't go wrong somewhere? Do you know that this situation of insecurity in the zoo is so bad that today explosion killed 7 children? I want to be factually correct, absolutely correct. It was reported yesterday. It happened yesterday. Explosion killed 7 children. If this thing were to happen anywhere else in the world apart from the zoo, believe you me, CNN, everybody, Al Jazeera would be everywhere. That is why I want to let people understand about who really hates you and who loves you. They won't talk about this news because they are benefiting from the corruption that Nigeria is. Nigeria, the corruption that Nigeria, 7 children killed. It is not international news. Who killed them, you would ask? Who killed 7 children? An improvised explosive device. You see, when the dead Buhari was alive, they were plotting all these things to how to take over other areas. They never learned when an army from the north came to Biafra land to take Biafra land 300 years ago, and what happened to them. You see, they forgot one thing. They thought that the loss of Biafra between 67 and 70 somehow was a signal that they can go on and take over the whole of Biafra land. But you see, I am saying this to the feudal lords, the Janjaweed, those who control the Fulani Caliphate. This is something they don't know. There is something very special about Biafra. God may punish us with you or with Britain as he did before you came, so that we can return back to him. Not that so you can come to occupy our land. The more you have this design in your brain to take over the whole of the South, to take Yoruba land, to take Biafra land, and bring in every Janjaweed in West Africa to come and reside in, the more you lose your own land. That's what is happening to you. You have come to kill other people, but there are those you left behind who are now killing your own children. It's happening in Katsina, the state where the dead Buhari, I said dead, late dead Buhari comes from. Any idiot telling you otherwise is deceiving you. They know Buhari is dead. They're all covering it out of shame. So they will not say, oh, Nnamdi Kanu was right. That's all. That is all. They know Buhari. Who doesn't know that? That the mass murderer is dead. Today, 7 children are dead in his hometown. And you're telling me that the old Buhari will be there and he will not say anything? 7 children killed in his own hometown. You people are truly daft. You Nigerians, you niggers from the zoo, you are truly daft. Daft beyond recognition. Daft. 7 children are dead. And Nigeria, let's make it better. The people are dying every day. The young pilot is dead. Helicopter is dead. Your soldiers are being slaughtered in Boko Haram territories. Bandits are ravaging you every day. Fulani terrorists, mere allies everywhere, killing you, taking over your land. And you have the temerity to wake up in the market and we will fix it if we restructure it, if we do this, if we are governors. You people you have abandoned the real issue. There is a place where I come from, in the village.